Defensiveness is a response to any perceived criticism. It does not necessarily mean that there is a criticism, but the perception of criticism could lead one to go on the defensive if they are not careful. This is part 3 of the 4-part series where we cover Dr. John Gottman's 4 Horsemen of Relationships. In our previous videos, we covered criticism and contempt, and today we'll be covering defensiveness, which is the third of Gottman's 4 Horsemen of Relationships. Now, defensiveness is not the same as drawing healthy boundaries for yourself, okay? Defensiveness is more ego-based, and it tends to avoid responsibility, avoid any accountability, okay? So here's how we can understand the difference between drawing healthy boundaries and defensiveness. So drawing healthy boundaries protects your well-being. We all need to have those. Defensiveness, however, again, avoids accountability, avoids responsibility, blame shifts, it deflects, okay? Defensiveness leans into narcissism. It's not the same as drawing boundaries for yourself. So I'm going to go over some examples of what defensiveness could look like using some dialogue, and I'll also share the antidote for defensiveness. So let's take a look at one. Okay. Did you remember to book the reservations? You know how busy I am. Why didn't you just do it yourself? So you see the defensiveness here, right? Chris doesn't want to take accountability simply for forgetting something. Okay, he's jumping to an excuse, right? He's deflecting, and he tries to shift responsibility away from himself when clearly it was his responsibility to book these reservations. Now let's look at the antidote, okay? The antidote for defensiveness is to take responsibility. So here's something that Chris could have said. I'm sorry, I forgot. I know this is important to you, and it's important to me too. I'll take care of it. So this statement takes accountability, it maintains responsibility, and it provides assurance, right? So let's take a look at another one. Hey, I thought we agreed to talk about this tonight. Look, I'm tired. I don't have time for your pity, okay? So again, making an excuse to avoid accountability, right? Blame shifting. Anna is making Paul feel like his feelings, his concerns are a burden when clearly they agreed to talk tonight, right? Now, here's something Anna could have said. Let's look at the antidote. I know, we did agree, and this is important to me, but I had a long day, so I just need to rest right now. Can we get back to this tomorrow? So this is a very healthy response, okay? Anna is taking accountability. She's taking responsibility, right, for her commitment to talk. She's also expressing her needs in the moment. And she's also providing assurance, because even though she can't talk right now, she's providing reassurance, and she's offering resolution by suggesting that they get back to this tomorrow. Now, we talked about how to address issues in a healthy way in part 1 of the series when we covered criticism. But unfortunately, even when we address issues in a healthy way, in a gentle tone, okay, you might still be met with defensiveness, as in the examples that we just went over, okay? And this is why many of us find it difficult to even bring up issues at all, because we fear that we'll be met with defensiveness, as in these examples. It requires some real vulnerability to address issues, okay? Because when you bring up issues with your partner, you're admitting that you got hurt, okay? And if you have an inflated ego, or if you take your pride a little too seriously, you don't want to admit that. You don't want to admit that you feel hurt, that you got your feelings hurt, right? That's hard to do. And you're scared of, you might be scared of your partner's reaction. How are they going to respond when I tell them that I felt hurt when they said ABC, when they did XYZ, right? Well, here's the thing. Okay, an unhealthy partner, an unhealthy friend, someone who leans into narcissism is going to meet your vulnerability with defensiveness with deflection, okay? Deflection is a form of defensiveness. They don't want to hold any accountability because there's no way that they made a mistake. No, they can never be wrong, okay? They don't need to apologize for anything, right? They don't need to take responsibility for anything. So I'm going to show you some more examples of what deflection could sound like, which is a form of defensiveness. Okay, so, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I don't like it when you do X, Y, Z. You're so sensitive. Really? You're upset about that? It's not even that big of a deal. Get over it. Or they might just ignore you altogether. Now, if a partner responds like this, when you bring up an issue in a healthy way, in a gentle tone, and your partner responds with defensiveness, deflection, okay, that is not a healthy partner. Like I said, they lean into narcissism and they immediately go on the defensive. A secure partner, however, will meet your complaints, it will meet your vulnerability with safety, okay? So safety, of course, leans into empathy. The healthy partner leans into empathy. And they will try to understand your perspective. They will apologize, even if they didn't mean to hurt you on purpose, which they probably didn't, right? They will still offer a sincere apology for their actions, and they will follow up that apology by changing their behavior, by doing better. They're going to try their best to not repeat that mistake, whatever the issue was. So the antidote to defensiveness is simply to take responsibility. Offer an apology, provide reassurance, and offer resolution. Ensure that your partner's vulnerability will not be met with defensiveness, but with safety. Okay, safety involves hearing your partner out, trying to understand their perspective, validating their feelings, which is so important, and of course, offering an apology. Even if the hurt wasn't intentional, even if you didn't mean to hurt your partner, or if they didn't mean to hurt you, right? An apology is still offered. But what if your partner is not addressing issues softly, right? What if they are criticizing you, or even worse, holding you in contempt, attacking you? Well, the best thing to do in this case is to not go on the defensive, but to draw a boundary for yourself, okay? So the best thing to do is communicate to them, hey, this isn't healthy for me. I'm willing to talk this through in a calmer manner, but not like this. And this is an example of how to draw a boundary for yourself, okay? And how they respond will tell you how suited they are for this relationship, how healthy they are, how secure they are. So this concludes part 3 of this series, and in the next video we'll be covering the 4th of Gottman's 4 Horsemen, which is stonewalling. So I hope I brought some good into your life today. If so, please like and subscribe. Please share your thoughts and your stories in the comments. Let's get the discussion going. If you think this video might help somebody, please share it with them. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.